Since the day your country was amalgamated, they have been killing till the day you got your independence, 1960. Your useless independence, 1960. Since that 1960, they have been killing till today. Me and you are here, they are killing. And they will still be killing you. They will still be killing you until this world comes to end, until the day you break out from one Nigeria. See, it's not a cause, it's not anything, it's nature. That is how it goes. You can't force things to work. When you come to Nigeria,
hello and what's up, guys? In this video, a powerful debate about Nigeria's future is raising serious questions. Can a country with so many different nations, cultures and identities truly remain united? One Nigerian voice has gone as far as declaring that Nigeria has expired, arguing that the country was brought together through the 1914 amalgamation despite its enormous ethnic, cultural and linguistic differences. According to this argument, Nigeria has hundreds of ethnic groups and hundreds of languages with different traditions and ways of life. The speaker believes these differences have created tensions that have continued for generations and insists that forcing everyone to remain together may never bring lasting peace. But another speaker challenges that idea completely. He argues that the diversity itself is not Nigeria's real problem. Instead, the real failure is the inability to build a system where every Nigerian feels equal, protected and respected regardless of tribe, religion or region. So the big question is this: is Nigeria too divided to work as one country, or can a better system finally unite its people? Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Greetings to all meaningful Nigerians out there. You know, I've been telling us time without number that Nigeria is not gonna work anymore, that Nigeria have expired. Sometimes when I tell people that we don't need one Nigeria anymore, we want to go on our own, let's separate, let everybody go on. So some of them think maybe I'm speaking from pain or anger. No, that I'm telling you nothing but the truth. And as I say it, so it will be. If you like, take it. If you like, leave it. With time, you understand what we are telling you. You know, you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And the most important thing is that when you are fooling somebody, you may be enjoying it, but the day the person realizes that you are fooling him or her, you will pay for those days times 2. Those days you have used him times 2. And now this is the point where Nigeria is now. Now I want us to look into those things that makes me tell you that Nigeria will not work. I want us to look into how Nigeria was formed, who formed Nigeria, who gave the Nigeria the name, the benefit of one Nigeria. What have Nigeria benefited us, the citizens, ever since the amalgamation of Nigeria? Now I want you to know this: that name Nigeria was given to Nigeria by a woman, one Olosho, a girlfriend, not even a wife, a girlfriend of one of the colonists that colonized us, Flora Shaw. Flora Shaw was the woman who named this Nigeria. On the 18th January 1897, that is when she gave that Nigeria that name called Nigeria. She just left one morning after making love with her boyfriend. She said, honey, let's call those black people Nigeria. And they called you people Nigeria. You accepted it without questioning it. Then later on, 17 years later, after the name Nigeria was given, 17 years later, they now amalgamate Nigeria. They now decide to bring Nigeria together as one. That was on the 1st of January 1914. On the 1st of January 1914, that is when they said, okay, let's form these people as a country. They formed Nigeria as a country. They did not plan nothing. They just, if you look at it, they just combined every tribe, 1,000 languages together. I will come to that. Hold on. Gradually. So now I want you to understand this. When you come in the world as a whole today, in the world generally, we have 195 countries. 195 countries that make up the world, in this world today. And just 2 countries are not part of the United Nations, which is the Vatican City and Palestine. These 2 countries are not part of the United Nations. Then the remaining 193 countries, Nigeria comes 6th in the most populous country. Nigeria comes 6th in population. To see how choked we are. Okay, that was not enough. When you look into Africa alone, in Africa, Nigeria happens to be one of the most populous countries in Africa. Nigeria have the highest population in Africa today, with the approximate number of 242.4 million people. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, Nigeria have 242.4 38.4 million people in just a country. Then when you look at the country that comes second in Nigeria today, which is what do they call them? The Ethiopian. Ethiopian is the second populous country in Africa today with approximate number of 138.9 million people. 138.9 million people. Then when you look at this, you know that if they divide Nigeria into two, almost one is Ethiopia. Now, what I want you to understand, what are Nigeria doing with that population? What are Nigerians doing with that population? To see how crowded and choked Nigeria is, but that one is not enough. Only Nigeria have, in terms of tribes in Nigeria, Nigeria have almost 250 to 200 and 300 tribes. Only Nigeria, 300 tribes in Nigeria. More than 500 languages. More than 500 languages. Now, my topic is this. When you go to Europe, you come to Germany, you see that in the northern Germany, they speak German. In Germany as a whole, they speak German. In Spain, they speak Spanish. In France, they speak French. In Italy, they speak Italian. Then, look at how it goes. When you come to this Germany now, in the northern Germany, when a northern German speak and the western German, they will hear the intonation is not the same, but it's one language. The intonation is not the same, but it's one language. But they will understand because they are one people. They practice the same culture and the same way of life. When you go to the Italy, when a northern Italian speak and the western Italian, you will see, if you hear Italy very well, they are not the same intonation, but there is one language. And that is the reason why they were able to stay as a country. And the same thing applicable to all these European countries. This is how they go. But when you come down to Nigeria, if a Yoruba man speak, Igbo man no go here. If Igbo man speak, Hausa man no go here. If Hausa man speak, Igbara man no go here. If Igbara man speak, Ogoja man no go here. If Ogoja man speak, TV man no go here. Because of what? These people, they are just concussion. And you expect such kind of people to cohabit as a tribe, as a country. It will never work. It will never, there's no way it will work. It's not gonna work because these people are different people, different culture, different way of life. You now bring them together, force them together to stay as one. And these useless people, they don't have brain. As their skin is black, this is how their thinking faculty is black. They accepted the fact to be together. And now some people are telling them that this thing is not gonna work. Since the day your country was amalgamated, they have been killing till the day you got your independence, 1960. Your useless independence, 1960. Since that 1960, they have been killing till today. Me and you are here, they are killing. And they will still be killing you. They will still be killing you until this world comes to end, until the day you break out from one Nigeria. See, it's not a cause, it's not anything, it's nature. That is how it goes. You can't force things to work. When you come to Nigeria today, there's something I want you to understand. When you go down to the west, to the Yoruba side, if a man from Ilorin speak, a man from Abeokuta will understand. But the intonation is different. Not one Yoruba. The intonation is one Yoruba, but not one intonation. But they will understand because they are one people. When you go to the north, when a Kaduna man speak, a man from Plateau will hear. A man from Jos will hear. Because it's one language with different culture, with different intonation. And it will be easy for them to adapt, to cohabit as one. When you come to the eastern part, to the Igbo land, when an Anambra man speak, Imo State man will hear. But not the same intonation, but one language. Then when you come down to this Igbo land again, we practice the same culture, the same way of life. Everything about Igbo is the same, and we are the same people with one language. So it will be easy. It will be very, very easy, very much easy for us to stay or survive as a nation, as a country. Than when you go, only Nigeria, 300 tribes. Only Nigeria, almost 500 languages. And some people think maybe we said we don't want one Nigeria again out of hatred or whatever. It's not gonna work. This is what I want Nigerians to start looking into. It's not gonna work. When you come to this Western country, the way they do their things is quite understandable for them because they are one people. They are one people and they understand themselves very, 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 very well. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but these colonists, they just wake up one morning, regardless of anything. They themselves, they know that this thing they are doing is not gonna work, it's not gonna favor us, but they don't care. They just do it out of their own personal interest. That is what they will benefit. What they will benefit. And now, when you look at it, before the amalgamation of Nigeria, before Nigeria was formed in 1914, we all have been existing. You will see things like you will see names like the, what do they call it? The Caliphate of Sokoto is there. Caliphate of Sokoto. Or you see things like Benin Kingdom is there. Or kingdom of Inri. These are things we have before these people come and cancel all those ones. Many of them, Hausa is there. This is the way we were before. The same people with the same ethnic group and the same ethnic way of life. During that time, we don't have any misunderstanding. We cohabit as friends, as neighbors, and things were very, very okay until these people came. They now combine all of us together. Ask yourself, me here now, I can't eat swallow fufu in one plate together with soup from one plate. But some people in Nigeria does it. It's their way of life. It's their culture. For me, it irritates me. Some people in Nigeria, when cooking soup, they use broom. They use broom to stir their soup, to turn their soup. But for me, once I see something like that, for me it's irritating. You bow down, you bring your head down when praying. I can't do that. I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, but I want you to understand that we are different people with different way of life, different culture. It's time we understand this and we separate, everybody go its way and settle in peace than all this killing. If we don't divide Nigeria today, we will never be at peace. It's not a curse, it's not a swear, that is just nature. We are not one people. We are not one people. We are all special in our own different way of life. No this and no peace.
I titled this one today, One Country But Many Nations. And that is the reality that is bedeviling Nigeria at the moment. One country but many nations. And to start with, let's look at the differences between the two. What is the difference between a nation and a country? A nation is a group of people united by culture, tradition, ancestral lineage, and other vices. While a country is a geographical location with a system of leadership and rule that is supposed to bridge the gap and bring everybody under one umbrella. But what are we having in Nigeria today? We are having a situation where, just like I said, one country but many nations. But ideally, this is what the concept of having a country is supposed to do. Having a country is supposed to get rid of all our cultural, religious, and tribal inclinations and make everybody equal before the law. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. But sincerely and ideally, are we going to pin this on only the government? The government has a larger share of this in regards ensuring that happens, but the people equally have that. Let me tell you, the concept of governance was actually derived from the basis of civilization. Civilization, that there must be a law that is centered on humanity, that must bring everybody together, irrespective of what you believe or where you are coming from. That is the concept of belief. Because going by this, if we are to go by the concept of everybody or anybody that has his own cultural, religious inclination should have a country on its own, at the end of the day, we are going to be having hundreds of countries in Nigeria only. In Nigeria only, we are going to be having hundreds of countries. Because the last time I checked, the North has its own evil. The East has their own evil. And the West have their own evil as well. And what are these evils? Let's look at it. Predominantly, to start with, predominantly in the North. The evil we have in the North is not majorly even tribal or cultural differences, but majorly religious extremism differences that arise from this extremism ideology. Because the last time I checked, sincerely speaking, wherever you meet a northerner, they do less of asking you in regards where you come from or what is your tribe. Once you say you are a northerner, you are a northerner. But the dynamics now falls in when you have a situation where people begin to ask you, are you a Muslim or a Christian? And the last time I checked, Allah, this is what is finishing the North. Finishing the North. Extremists. And you have a lot of subscribers of this concept. So let's face it. Looking at the North now, you have the Muslims, the Christians, and even the idol worshippers. So if we are to go on who is right, because the last time I checked, religious concept is all about supreme being, Abi. Who get the most supreme being? Who don't see the supreme being? Wait till I'm saying him be the right one. No fucking body. But any maga is actually thinking in his delusive mind that he has the best of supreme being. Some will call it Allah, some will call it God, some will call it whatever name you give it. But the last time I checked, this thing is all supposed to be centered on humanity. And humanity is just one language. Love. Love your neighbor as yourself. And nothing more. But when you have a country that doesn't address some of these vices, it now creates room for people to actually try to portray their own system of belief to be superior. I tell you, forget about this Hausa Fulani or whatever. The major thing is extremism that arises from a religious concept. I haven't said this about the North. Let's go to the East. What do you find in the East? The East, in as much as people who want to believe is perfect, is actually not perfect. Everybody has his own devil. All right? Different cultures and orientations equally exist in the East as well. You get it? So, while other believes they are superior, others actually think that because in the North, you have the Hausa Fulani dominating as majority. In the East, you have the Igbos dominating as majority. Right? And by virtue of that now, it makes every other person that is not of this tribe look as if he's minority and he doesn't have an input. Though the fact is, in comparison to atrocities and evils caused as a result of these differences, you can't equate that which happens in the North and that which happens in the East. That is the reality. I'm unapologetic in this regard, sincerely speaking. And even the atrocities created in the North under the disguise of this radicality now is even spreading more to other parts that doesn't even have business with this. Right? That is the reality. Let's come to the West. The West and the South equally have the same thing. It's just a situation where wherever you have people as majority, they try to dominate the minority and try to let the minority know that their language, their whatever doesn't count. But ideally, just like I said, in the spirit of a country is supposed to bridge this gap. But not just the name country. The last time I checked, human beings metamorphosize generally in nature. And comparing where we are coming from and where we are at the moment, we should be talking at this point in time a situation where we say human being is human being. Irrespective of tribe, religion, or culture. A human being is a human being, and irrespective of what it is, as long as it doesn't violate the law, deserves love. But what are we doing? A bunch of idiots is either they are doing it for monetary gratification or personal aggrandizement. And that is what is called killing us. So at this point in time, I'm calling on both the government and both individuals. On the basis of individual, first detribalize yourself and de-radicalize yourself in regards to religion. And that will make us prosper and progress as human beings. Because we are not the only country to have this. A lot of countries have this, but in the presence of a functional government and reasonable citizens, they have triumphed over all this. But here are we. When it comes to, look at policies now. That is why when it comes to Nigeria, when you're talking about Nigeria at this point in time, you have to be very specific. When you say there's a national problem, I bet you in Nigeria, a national problem in the North is not a national problem in the East or in the South. But is it supposed to be so? It's not supposed to be so. When they say national problem, and you know, part of the reasons, part of the points where the government is facilitating this is actually as a result of, what do you call a situation where when you have a situation where they say this indigenship letter, you have to be from this place. So that is what is applicable to, no. We actually need to look at the foundation of this, what we call country. Or if that cannot work, sincerely, allow people to fall back to their nation concept origin, sincerely speaking.